Liverpool's preparations for their upcoming clash with Nottingham Forest have been dealt an unwelcome setback, raising fresh questions about how Arne Slot will shape his side for the contest. With momentum proving difficult to sustain in recent weeks, any disruption at this stage of the season carries added significance. As attention turns to the game with Forest, the latest development places greater emphasis on squad depth, tactical flexibility, and individual responsibility. It also underlines how fine the margins have become for the Reds, with key decisions now set to play a major role in determining the outcome of another important fixture. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Sky Sports have provided an incredibly worrying blow heading into Liverpool's away game with Nottingham Forest over the weekend. This setback could make things much more difficult for Liverpool. Have a watch.
I'll step out of the way. It's pretty much as you'd expect in terms of the personnel out there. Still no Jeremy Frimpong. Of course, he hasn't played since picking up the hamstring injury. Less than 5 minutes into the Champions League thrashing of Qarabağ. That was at the end of January. Of course, just as they break out from their hurdle and come over towards us as well to start this training session, going through a little bit of a warm-up. He's missed 3 further games, of course, since going off against Qarabağ. Jeremy Frimpong, the 4-1 victory over Newcastle, the 2-1 defeat to City, and the 1-0 victory over Sunderland, as well as the 3-0 FA Cup win over Brighton. But that just has added to the kind of defensive problems that Arne Slot has had recently as well, with Conor Bradley and Giovanni Leone out for the rest of the season. Joe Gomez, though, is back from the hip injury that he picked up against Bournemouth. That was he had 20 minutes against Brighton, of course, and against Sunderland after missing Qarabağ, Newcastle and City. And of course, as you'd expect, still no Alexander Isak either, missing since the end of November with the fractured leg he suffered when scoring the first goal in the 2-0 win over West Ham United. But apart from the injury news that you'd expect, Liverpool have no new injury concerns to worry about.
Always good news for Liverpool fans. Dominic Szoboszlai, he's returning to Premier League action, isn't he, following that suspension for his late red card against Manchester City. Just give us a sense of how important he's become for Arne Slot.
Yeah, he has, Hannah, and Mo Salah described him as one of the best in the world after the win over Brighton. Arne Slot, like Mo Salah, has put him in the bracket of the elite players in the world at the moment. You look at his importance to Liverpool over the season so far, and having looked at what he's been able to produce on the pitch, the fact that Kylian Mbappe is the only one with more goal contributions in the Champions League this season than Dominic Szoboszlai. He scored 4 and assisted 4. He gave Liverpool the lead in Marseille. He scored the late winner against Inter in the San Siro. Set up McAllister, for instance, as well for the winner against Real Madrid at Anfield. And he's hit double figures for goals so far this season. Of course, as well, we saw the spectacular free kicks against Arsenal, of course, and against Manchester City.
In other news, Arne Slot has publicly aligned himself with the growing belief that Dominic Szoboszlai has the potential to become a future captain at Liverpool, while also stressing that the midfielder still has an important developmental step to take before fully assuming such responsibility. At 25, Szoboszlai has emerged as one of the most consistent and driven performers in a side that has endured periods of inconsistency this season. In difficult moments, he has often been the player willing to shoulder responsibility, pushing the team forward through his work rate, technical quality, and physical presence. Whether operating in central midfield, advanced areas, or even filling in at right back, his influence has been hard to ignore. His commanding style and willingness to take initiative have led some supporters to draw comparisons with Steven Gerrard, not least because of the iconic number 8 shirt he wears. While such comparisons can be premature, they underline the regard in which Szoboszlai is now held. Following his recent goal against Brighton, Slot was asked whether he viewed the Hungarian international as a potential future leader. The Liverpool head coach was clear in his assessment, praising Szoboszlai's current qualities while outlining where improvement is still needed. Yes, but he's still young, Slot explained. I think he has a lot of attributes already, especially when it comes to leading by example, but there's still a step to make in terms of leadership, being vocal, being a voice in the dressing room, if I compare him to Virgil van Dijk, which is completely normal. Slot went on to highlight the importance of learning from experienced figures. Virgil is 34 and has seen probably James Milner or Jordan Henderson and these players. So it's really good for Dominic that he sees Virgil as well. That would be a next step for him, to be as vocal and as loud as Virgil is. That comes with time. Despite that caveat, Slot was confident about Szoboszlai's broader leadership profile. For all the other things, he has a lot to become a very influential player for Liverpool, and you could call that a leader. The timing of these comments is significant. Van Dijk is entering the final 18 months of his contract, while vice-captain Andy Robertson is approaching the end of his current deal this summer. With long-serving leaders potentially nearing the end of their cycles at Anfield, a pathway may soon open for a new generation to step forward. Szoboszlai appears well placed to be part of that transition, provided his long-term future remains on Merseyside. His name has previously been linked with Real Madrid, a suggestion fueled in part by his national team coach, Marco Rossi, who has spoken about the player's ambitions. For now, however, Szoboszlai remains central to Liverpool's plans. Statistically, his progress has been clear. With 10 goals and 7 assists in 35 appearances this season, he's already surpassed last year's output. His threat from set pieces has become increasingly valuable at a time when Liverpool have struggled to break down compact defences, while his energy and pressing continue to set the tone. He hasn't always played in the number 10 position, but he is producing more and more goals, Slot noted. I think Dominic is a great example of the model we are using here at this club. The Dutch coach also reflected on Szoboszlai's development since arriving from RB Leipzig. We sign young players from another league. He was already known for being really physical. The player we brought in was good, but where he is now, he is much better than 2.5 years ago. That's what you get if you give young players time and let them play. This steady progression has positioned Szoboszlai as a potential figurehead for the next phase of Liverpool's evolution. Entering his peak years, he combines athleticism, technical ability, and growing tactical intelligence, making him integral to any sustained success. His contract runs until 2028, though he has recently admitted there has been no progression in talks over a new deal. That situation will be closely monitored, particularly given his increasing importance to the squad. For now, however, the trajectory is clear. Szoboszlai is already leading through performance and professionalism. If he can add the vocal authority and dressing room presence that Slot has highlighted, he may soon find himself not only among Liverpool's best players, but at the forefront of its leadership group for years to come. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.